right, for more on Alphabet and Microsoft earnings, let's bring in Fast Money friend Gene Munster of Deepwater Asset Management. Gene, good to see you. Is Microsoft's quarter as good as a stock pop? Is Alphabet's quarter as bad as a stock decline?
Well, I'll start with Google. I think investors should just take a deep breath. We put a lot of pressure on that Google Cloud number. The deceleration, understand that that's caught people's attention from 28% to 23%, while Azure had that step up in growth from 26 to 29%. But the deep breath piece of this is just looking at the aggregate of what is in front of Google over the next decade. They essentially are losing share in cloud right now, in part because of Microsoft is optimizing OpenAI on Azure. And so they are gaining usage because of that. Google's answer to OpenAI is their new Gemini platform. That is, Sundar was talking about it on the call here the past 35 minutes. And that's their new, essentially, that's their answer to OpenAI. As that gets integrated, it'll start in the December quarter, and further new models, they said, will be announced in 2024. Microsoft will announce new models too. But I think that this scale will tip back towards Google, or more level playing field between Google and Azure, and we'll see a reacceleration. But most importantly, the reason why I think investors should ultimately view what's going on at Google as positive is they are investing more, but they're doing it judiciously. They are saying that, Ruth Porat is saying that they're going to grow earnings faster than expenses. And if this plays out in terms of how search is going to be impacted by AI, we're just at the very beginning of this. And I just want to fill in the final thought here, Melissa, in terms of why search is important relative to AI, is what Google wants to do is take what you use Google for today, that is for information, navigation, and commerce, and add on to that basically generative features. And so as they add that, you're going to go to Google more over time, and there's more opportunities for them to monetize search. And so big picture here, the Google story is intact. I haven't even talked about Microsoft because I'm just so surprised at Google's reaction here.
Gene, it's Karen. Thanks for being on. So how do you think about the valuation of Google here, and what penalty or what do you put on the contra side for the DOJ lawsuit?
So I'm in Dan's camp. He was just outlining, the valuation perspective here. I think it's at the top of the most attractive. That's why at Deepwater we own shares of Google. It is, I think, the most attractive and probably the best position relative to the opportunity in AI. So, Karen, I think that the valuation is attractive. Second, in terms of just what's going on with, the risk related to regulation, is this catches headlines. It's an important topic, but ultimately I don't think much is going to change, and don't have the time to go through the game theory in terms of how this most recent piece is going to change relative to their ability to bid on placement within, like, Safari, for example. But I think I don't think it's going to, I think it will play out to be ultimately a net neutral for Google. And so these headlines will pass, and I think ultimately investors are going to focus on what matters most with Google, which is why they have a pole position with what's going to be a decade shift towards AI.
Real quick, Gene, on Microsoft, because we didn't touch on that at all. Does the quarter so far, I mean, we haven't gotten to the conference call, but does the quarter, at least in your view, put a floor under the valuation where it is now?
I think it does. I think that there's reason for optimism. Microsoft is going to be the first beneficiary of AI. We've seen it with their Azure business in the September quarter. We're going to see it when they start to turn on the monthlies for adding Copilot, which is going to be in the middle of November. And so I think that directionally, analysts are going to find the addition sign on their keyboard tonight when it comes to estimates for 2024.